Hello.
Good morning.
Need help?
Hey, good morning, Duncan. How are you? I didn't make it back on yesterday, but I did go feed the cubs. I didn't forget. Uh-oh. Yeah, I actually just picked him up. My guide sent me back over this way, so I figured, let me see if he's there. And there he was. I don't think I can get those till later, though, right? Higher level. Aren't spirit beasts max level? Those are max level pets, right? Good morning, good morning.
I see.
Good morning, good morning. Or good evening, depending on where you're from. That's all max level though, right? You can't get Spirit Beast till you're max level hunter. Is that right? Okay. So you can get it in your 70s. That's true.
Good day to you. Hey there, see you around.
Well, I couldn't get him now anyway because I can't go out there at this level. It's not like retail where you can go pretty much anywhere at any level. MoP still, I get killed in Northern.
King's honor, friend. Greetings. Well met.
Right. Everything's tied to your level, no matter where you go. Yeah, it does. Although I like the idea, the concept of being able to level, like if somebody missed an expansion, that you could go and you could level all the way up through that entire expansion and experience something that you didn't get to play. I mean, like for you, when you stopped playing, you could go to retail and you could pick Legion maybe on Chromie time, and you could level all the way through Legion, which would be kind of cool. So you get to
What can I do
experience
for you?
the expansion that you missed.
What can I do for you?
So it's kind of cool from that perspective, I guess.
Well met.
But I do agree part of the fun was getting from expansion to expansion to expansion and meeting those milestones. Well, the thought process behind it from what I was reading is, and I don't know all about it, but all the way up till like Dragonflight, everything was tied to this kind of, I guess, linear storyline, right? And then with Dragonflight and the War Within and Midnight, they kind of changed things up a little bit. So their thought was to get people through that content into kind of like the new way of doing storylines in Dragonflight. Because if you create a new character in Midnight right now, they recommend leveling through Dragonflight. So you do Dragonflight, then the War Within, then Midnight. So it's got its own little thing, right? But it also got to the point where it became this huge task, right? Well, I mean, yes, kind of. But I think a lot of people tend to forget that the lore of World of Warcraft belongs to Blizzard, right? Like, it's not like having like a Lord of the Rings game like Lotro, where you've got this outside storyline
I see.
that the game creators have to stick to. The storyline in the lore of World of Warcraft belongs to and was created by Blizzard, so it's kind of theirs to take in whatever direction they want to take it in. I mean, fans obviously can reject whatever direction they go in, but prior to, the Warcraft series of games, there was no Warcraft storyline. Blizzard created it all. So they had to do something, right? As the game progressed past the storyline of the standalone games, Blizzard kind of had to do something. They had to create. It's kind of like, I don't know if you ever watched Game of Thrones, but how they got past the original books and had to do something with Game of Thrones, and people freaked out about what they did, but they had to do something to keep the show going. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I'm just an old dude rambling before I had enough coffee. Good morning, how are you?
Hello. Good day to you. See you later. Light be with you.
Yeah, that is what they did, Duncan. Good morning, Yep, still grinding away. I did check out your add-on, man. I do like the ability to
Help?
say thanks at the end of the dungeon. Nice touch. I always try to do that, and generally players are gone before you even get a chance to say or do anything. So it's cool that you can quickly do that before leaving. Very lightweight, nicely done. Oh, dang on it. Yeah, next time I'm on the dungeon character, I'm gonna use it on my live stream so people can see it. I like it. I have an add-on blocking stuff. There it is. Yeah, I'm very much an add-on guy, as you can see by my UI. I customize pretty much everything. I'll go this way. Yeah, Duncan, I do agree that Game of Thrones did kind of go way too fast through the content and put themselves in a bind. Yeah, movies tend to do it as well because you got to condense, at least with a movie, you got to condense, X amount of hundreds of pages down to, maybe a couple hour movie. So I kind of see movie makers doing it more than TV show makers because you think with a TV show they want to string it out, right? Get as many episodes as they can out of it. At least I would think anyway. But I don't make TV shows, so what do I know? Yeah, it's true. It happens. Right. I didn't see that. It's level 20, Duncan. I get to do my riding at level 20. Yeah, yeah. When you say Mad Max, that's what I think. I didn't know they. I didn't know they remade it. How long ago did they remake Mad Max? I don't know how I missed that. You make me look it up now. Oh, it's been a while. 2015. Ah, 2024. Okay. And it bombed, huh? Didn't do well. Guess not. I didn't even hear of it. So The new Snow White movie. Is that the Huntsman one? Guess I missed that one too. What was that called?
Greetings. Light bless you.
Gotta go kill Yowler. Okay. Oh,
I see.
look at that big spider. Let's see, does it make you get your training? I think it does, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'd never seen that spider before. Yeah, they get it automatically, right. I guess that's fair. They went from working really hard for it, at least uh, Warlock and
Well met.
Paladin.
King's honor, friend. Be careful. Light be with you.
Yeah, it is much more XP. I like it. I like finding those rares. I gotta go over and fly over to the logging camp and get my mount training real quick. I better sell this stuff. I don't know that I have enough money.
Hey there.
Yeah, every once in a while they do for sure.
Safe travels.
Transmog value's terrible this time around in MoP. Also, Duncan, when I went to do the cubs for the Winter Spring Mount yesterday, I had to do a thing where it had to attack like little mounds of snow on the ground.
Can I help you? Be careful.
What can I do for you? For the Alliance.
What are you looking for? Have a good one.
Well met. Go with honor, friend. Hey there. Safe travel.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, you still have the daily quest grind. But yeah, it kind of breaks it up a little bit for sure. What's that, the daily quest grind? Nothing was worse than the daily quest grind in MoP. It's like, MoP is... Ugh. The rep grind in MoP was horrible, in my opinion. Absolutely horrible.
Greetings. How are you? King's honor, friend.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Yeah, that's true as well. Very true. If they could figure out a way in Classic to skip through WoD straight to Legion, I'd be thrilled. I mean, I don't see how they do that, but I'd like it. Going to Duskwood. This is a speed leveling guide, so it will stop me in the middle of a zone if it thinks I can get better experience per hour moving on, and it will just automatically move you on. It factors heirlooms, joyous journey, any of the things like that that speed up leveling. So it figured right there it was more beneficial to move me on to Duskwood than to sit here and keep grinding out Red Ridge.
Need help? See you
And
around.
it's funny because I just came from the logging camp. Well, I could if I wanted to. And there's a separate guide for that also. If I wanted to just do, I can show you right here. Like there's a Red Ridge. If I wanted to do all of Red Ridge, I could just click on that, see where it shows 38% for Red Ridge. If I started that guide, see it'll scroll right through where I was, and I can go ahead and finish it out if I want to. It's only doing it because I chose the speed guide. This add-on by default will balance out all your reputations, help you work on your lore master stuff as you quest, unless you specifically select the speed guide. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it by default it will start off kind of like following lore and storyline and walk you step by step through everything. You've got to literally make the effort to say no, I want to do it the other way. What are these little frogs doing? Yeah, Andrew, I agree 100%, man. I've been using it since original Burning Crusade. It's been around for a long, long time. I'm excited to see what they do for Classic Plus. I consider it a quality of life add-on, really. It's just more than just a leveling add-on. It's got everything. Like anything you want to do in the game, pets, mounts, achievements, work professions, farm mats, do achievements, seasonal events. I think about like all those people who pop out the WoW head over and over again to get information they want, and I have it like right here, pretty much at my fingertips. And the fact that they maintain it for any version of WoW is very cool. I was actually looking earlier this morning. I was in midnight, and when the guide loaded, I was shocked. There's 8,000, over 8,700 guides in Zygor for retail. That's insane.
Hello. Looking for something specific?
I just did. All right.
Light be with you.
I think there's something like 3,500 guides for
Need help?
MoP Classic. It's still a lot.
Hey there. Farewell.
What can I do for you?
Need something?
How those dogs acting up this morning, Duncan? They being good? No, you said they're pretty chill.
I see.
Oh, another rare. Boy, it's a rare day. Right. Biff. Was that loud? Was that add-on loud? Let's see if there's a volume control for that. Let me see. That's odd. There was no volume control for that add-on. Is that crazy? Yeah, but that's crazy. It's, you know what it's gonna do for me? It's gonna force me to look for another one. Like I'll try. There's one called Rare Scanner. Let's see if it allows me to adjust the volume. I should have figured it was loud for you guys because it scares the heck out of me every time it goes off.
I see.
There's another one. Ooh, do I want that pet, Duncan? Oh no. Even the fox. Boy, it's a rare kind of day, isn't it, guys? Getting all kinds of rares. Well, killed my pet. Dang it. And what's weird is I thought I turned it off, but I didn't. Level 22, just like that. Yeah, it seems like maybe they made it max volume for a reason.
What can I do for you? Have a good one. Hey there, need help?
Hey there. You need something? Greetings. What can I do for you? Well met.
Keep forgetting to have a mount now.
Need help?
Yeah, it's a great add-on. It's just that volume. Like, it literally startles me every time it goes off.
How are you?
23.
See you around. Hello.
Yeah, I think they did. Like I said, it's a really well done add-on. Except for that. But it gets your attention every time for sure.
King's honor, friend.
Heck that up, but be right back. Let me see. Escape options. I have to go to, there's no, it's got to be add-ons. Oh, I turned it off. Hold on. See if I can find it. It's not here, so it's got to be Silver Dragon. General. Oh, general. Sounds. Oh, okay. If I pump it out to one of the channels I have turned down, then it, yep, I got you. So if I do like dialogue, because I think I have dialogue. I'll turn dialogue down. Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, man. Oh. Bu- bu- bu-
I see.
How's that sound to you?
I see.
Better? Sweet. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, man. Good job. Always nice to have a coder in chat, right? Hey, at least you're able to do it. I couldn't do it. Can you get AI to write add-ons these days? Will it, if you went to an AI prompt and asked it to write you a World of Warcraft add-on to do X, Y, or Z, is it capable of doing it? Have you tried it or thought about it?
What can I do for you? Good day to you.
That's fair. Yeah, because I guess then at that point you're constantly asking AI to make changes, right? Uh,
Greetings.
oh, nice. Hey, Cricket, how are you? Yeah, this is actually going to be my new um, time. I'm going to run from, well, this is East Coast time. I'm going to run from probably starting next week, 7:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. East Coast time, which I know is a bit early for you, right? I think it might be fun to do, actually. Hi. Cricket, did you make it through much of the replay of Sunday's raid? And some of the crazy conversation those folks have? That's fair. Yeah, our raid team's a bit crazy. We have fun though. Only a bit crazy, right, Duncan? It's that Locks you gotta watch out for. He gets, and that moonshine kicks in, boy. He gets out of control. Look at me, I'm not even paying attention. I'm questing in the wrong area. Killing the wrong stuff. Won't let me mount up. What's going on? Midwest. He actually makes his own moonshine. Cricket, you're in the Northwest, right? What do you have, like Washington State, Oregon area? Nice. Two of the members of our raid team, their husband and wife, they live in Washington as well. Where, I have no idea. It's a beautiful state, though. Been to Seattle a couple times. It's been years. But... Yeah, I actually basically grew up West Coast, also California. Nice. but I'm originally from the East Coast. That's right, Duncan, you lived in Arizona, right, for a long time. Oh, stop it, Duncan. California's really no different than California's been for decades. Just because they're different doesn't make them communists. They're just different. They just try different things. Nothing wrong with that. Cost of living's a bit high. That's my dig on California. I love California though. It's beautiful.
Can I help you?
What can I do for you?
Be careful.
What can I do for you?
All right, so I don't really get involved in political conversation, but I don't see where California is restricting anyone's right to defend themselves. And what criminals are they not protecting them from? Yeah, it's unfortunately, you know what, Duncan, we grew up in a time where you could have political discussion and disagreement and things would stay civil, but we're just not there anymore, you know what I'm saying? And as a streamer, um, getting involved in that type of discussion, I lose either way.
Good day to you.
And I'm a pretty moderate guy, honestly, myself. I don't I don't agree 100% with either side of the aisle. I think both extremes are a little bit crazy. It does, yes.
Light me with you.
I'd rather be able to have civil conversation and disagree, but it's just not a thing anymore, I guess. Right. I mean, like even in our raid group or in our guild, I have a no I have a no political discussion rule because just it never ends well. Yeah, that's fine, Duncan. No worries, man. Everybody has their opinions, and that's okay. I just hope that as a country we can get back to one day, both sides stating their opinions and then understanding where one another's coming from and finding some kind of compromise and move forward, right? Right, exactly. Right, yes. Yes, cricket. Finding common ground, you know. I know you want this and I want that, and neither one of us are going to get 100% of what we want, but let's see if we can work something out and at least do something, right?
We've been walled up for far
Like I said, I don't agree with the left or the right completely 100%. I'm a pretty moderate person. Yeah, I agree with that, Duncan. I agree. You know what? I'm liking the hunter a lot, actually. I've only messed around with hunters here and there, um, and I've never messed around with a beast mastery hunter, so it's kind of cool. I mean, it's still low level yet, but look at that, another rare. It has been a rare morning. I've probably killed half a dozen rares. Haven't got anything. Yeah, I think you're right. It seems pretty fun. Oop, there's level 25. What did we get? Garbaggio. That's alright. Thank you. Level 25 in 5 hours, and I probably spent a good hour screwing around, so it's not bad. I mean, not as fast as retail, that's for sure, but retail leveling is ridiculous. Yeah, it's one of my favorite zones from at least the classic era for sure. Cool, Duncan, I'll be here. Yeah, I do want to see it. I'll be around till shutdown, Duncan, so another 2 hours. What do you play, cricket? Yeah, I'm same way. I got low level alts of just about everything. In MoP, obviously you've watched Raid, so I main a Holy Paladin. Who's also geared ret. That's fine. And then I have Priest, Holy Priest, that I've raided a little bit with. I like a lot. And I have a mage that I'm doing nothing with at all. Yeah, for sure. I actually like healing more than anything. So pretty much any healer. I have a Mistweaver that I haven't leveled past 80 yet. I'm not much of a melee player in general, or tanking. Mostly range DPS and healing, that's me. Yeah, same with me. That's my thing. Nice. Oh, you've been playing since original. Were you around when the game launched? Were you in it when it launched? Nice. I wish I was. I didn't get in until BC. Believe it or not, I was playing Lord of the Rings online before I played WoW. Nice. Yeah, I don't know why I've just never really gotten into melee. But I do like my ret. I use my ret mainly for yeah, it's around the same time. Toontown. That was a pretty cool game though, right? Toontat, look, another rare. Look at this. I'm getting every rare from every zone. Garbage. Was it awful? The kids loved it though, didn't they? Wow, those same characters. That's crazy. So you guys got to be excited about the prospect of Classic Plus, right? It's still well. I think it's more than a rumor. I mean, I think there's been enough hinting by Blizzard. A major part of their classic support team has been switched over to a classic design team. And I don't know any reason why you would have classic designers unless you were designing something, right? Yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings about that as well, but you can't make it just straight vanilla WoW either. That doesn't make any sense. I see them adding some quality of life stuff into it for sure. I mean, I think maybe a looking for group that teleports you into dungeons would be taking it a bit far. I still think you want the feel of the leveling is the journey, right? That's the main thrust of the thing is that retail the journey starts at level cap. Original vanilla the journey was actually working your way to the level cap. I agree. Well, I mean, Yeah, I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it. There's certainly a business that's driven by profits and making shareholders happy for whatever that's worth. We may not like it, but that's just the reality of it. And I don't think that making it. I mean, when you say retail 2.0, what do you mean by that? What do you think they could put into it that would make it retail 2.0? I definitely think the graphics engine needs to be upgraded to current time. I mean, nobody wants to play Classic Plus with 2004 graphics, right? That would be that wouldn't make much sense. But I don't want to see like raid finders and looking for group to teleport you in and out of dungeons. I don't want to see that in a Classic Plus. %, yes. And listen, I did a video about this. Here's how it breaks down pretty much in a round numbers kind of way. No matter what Blizzard does, no matter what Classic Plus ends up being, 1/3 of the player base will love it. They'll absolutely think it's the greatest thing ever designed. 1/3 of the player base will hate it. They'll flame it online 24 hours a day. And another third will be kind of indifferent and either play or not play, but not really care about what they've done. Yeah, well, microtransactions are definitely going to occur. There's no doubt about that. But let me ask you this. Okay, let's say that they added pet battling to Classic Plus and they sold battle pets via Cash Shop. If you're more of a vanilla purist and you don't want them making it retail 2.0, I don't think that does. I don't think that makes it retail 2.0. Microtransactions to buy battle pets and be able to battle pet in Classic 2.0 is just adding another feature to the game for players who like it. In other words, there's in MoP Classic right now, there's pet battling. I don't do it. So to me, it doesn't even exist in the game because I don't do it. Yeah, I agree with that. But 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 is that Blizzard or is that the current player base, the new player base? Okay, so I have a hard time believing that Blizzard as a business, as a company, right, doesn't make their decisions based upon background numbers, metrics that they draw from the game. Like they know what we're doing in the game all the time, and I'm sure they're compiling those numbers. And you don't think that they make their business decisions based upon what they see players doing in the game? Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, Cricket. There's 100% going to be cash shop. There's, from a business standpoint, it makes no sense for them to not have cash shop as long as it's not pay to win. Um, I don't want to see anything like that. If they want to sell mounts and pets, I don't care really. I mean, honestly, I don't buy them now. I wouldn't buy them then. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see WoW tokens. 100%. That would ruin the economy in the game. I do not want to see WoW tokens in Classic Plus. But I have a really bad feeling there's going to be, because who's the number one? Yeah, I have a really bad feeling there's going to be tokens, Cricket. Who's the number one seller of gold now? Blizzard. They love selling those tokens. Think about this, right? You buy a token, you pay $20 for that token, right? I buy that token off the auction house for gold. I use that token to pay for game time, right? Blizzard just got $20 for that month instead of 15. They love the tokens. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that they need to capture the pace of the game. They need to get back to the leveling is the journey in the game, and that end game is more of the bonus for getting to that point, right? And they need to figure out if the player base wants it, how to bring the social aspect back into the game because I think that's where Blizzard got lost. Blizzard got so full of themselves that they failed to recognize that the social aspect of World of Warcraft was bigger than the game itself. You know what I'm saying? The social gathering place is what made it. Yes, 100%. And Blizzard lost that. Blizzard got so full of themselves that they believed it was always all about the game, and it really wasn't. The game was cool, like it was new, and we were like, yeah, this is awesome, look at this thing, but it was the experiencing it with others that made it next level cool.
Hey there.
Right. And unfortunately, catering to an ultra casual player base that wanted to be able to do more and more things on their own ultimately killed that social aspect in the game. And I won't say killed the game because they didn't kill the game. Blizzard is still doing very, very well. WoW Midnight still has a very, very solid player base. The classic versions, not so much at this point, but
Hey there. See you later.
I see Classic Plus as an opportunity for Blizzard to merge those two player bases, the retail and the classic, in a shared experience that we all kind of wanted to feel again, right? They have that opportunity. You know, whether they're going to miss the mark or not, I don't know. I'm hoping they don't. But again, remember, no matter what they do, they're going to miss the mark for a percentage of the players, and they're going to hit the mark, hit the bullseye for a percentage of the players, no matter what they do. Their player base is so big, they can't possibly please everybody. Yeah, 100%. Yes. But again, what mark, right? The mark is different for different people.
Oi, what's your story?
So what you're saying is, and I did a video about this as well, is you're saying it's not going to be Classic Plus, it's going to be Retail Minus. Right, 100%, yes. A solid player base that's playing the game and is happy. Wow, that's crazy. Well, you know they've brought back. Yeah, I mean, I didn't play a lot of Season of Discovery, but one of the knocks that I heard on Season of Discovery was that the whole rune system tended to make players a little too overpowered for a classic environment. I don't know if that's true or not,
Greetings.
or if you felt that, but I don't want that, right? Like, here's what I know I don't want. Like in the early days, we had there was a struggle, right? Like every fight you could die. There was a struggle to level. It was hard, right? Leveling was hard. Now we're superheroes, right? Like I haven't died on this character. I'm level 26 right now. I haven't even come close to dying. I'm just mowing things down. I don't want to just mow stuff down. I want to have to put an effort into my leveling. I didn't play it enough to even know what invasions are, honestly. The whole rune system early on turned me off and I stopped playing it.
Need help?
I don't want to tank with classes that aren't intended to tank.
Be careful.
And I don't want every class to have the ability to do everything. I definitely don't want that. Yeah, I'm not down with that. I don't want my mage tanking.
You need something? Have a good one. How are you? Safe travels.
Yeah, what was the game? What was the MMO that came out where you could do that, where you could customize any class to pretty much do anything? And I get the thought that, the thought is if we allow more classes the ability to be tanks and healers, that will get more people to be tanks and healers, and that's not even remotely true. The people that tank because that's what they like to do. It's not because there's now suddenly a mage tank. Right. See, when you start pumping like tons of gold into the game, true, Brush. Yeah, all those things are very true. Yeah, see, and I don't see a problem with, like, to me, having a dual spec in a Classic Plus would be okay. Because again, it's not Classic. It's, it's Classic Plus, right? If you've got vanilla purists that just want to play vanilla, There's vanilla servers right now, and guess what? Hardly anybody's playing them. But I get they want vanilla with expanded content, not expansions, right? I mean, we're what, 3 weeks away? 3 weeks away, roughly, from finding out. I don't see that there's any way that they don't at least address Classic Plus at BlizzCon. I think BlizzCon would be an ultimate disaster if they avoided the subject altogether. Yeah, no, I agree. I want to work also. So we agree that the leveling is the journey, right? The struggle and the struggling together was kind of the whole thing, right? We agree that we want to have that in the game, right? Yeah, well, I'm older than you. But I don't think you compromise the game by adding pet battling. I don't think you compromise the game by adding transmog. Really, um, why not add transmog and then add a setting in your options that if you don't want to see transmog, you can turn it off and you see their original gear. That doesn't compromise the game. So there are some cool additions to the game that they could bring into Classic Plus that wouldn't compromise. Like you can't level via pet battling. How about PvP? Right? There wasn't arena in original vanilla, right? What about 2v2, 3v3, 10v10, and rated battlegrounds? Thanks, Brush. I appreciate it. Right, just right, Cricket. Just have like the extra things for people to do. You don't want them leveling by doing it, right? Like I don't think um we don't want like you get 500 experience every time you mine a node or you pick an herb. I don't really want that in my Classic Plus. I don't want to be able to level via pet battles. Right. I think you keep PvP contained and you keep PvP gear as PvP gear, right? Not better than raid gear, so people are coming to raid in PvP gear, or vice. You know what I'm saying, right? You want to wear PvP gear when you're PvP, and you want to wear PvE gear when you're PvE, and we don't want to be convoluting the two.
See you around. What can I do for you?
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm not a vanilla purist, right?
Getting started.
Like, like I'm okay with certain things, right? I'm not okay with standing in Stormwind queuing up for dungeons and never going anywhere. Right. Exactly. It's two different aspects of the same game, right? It allows PvPers to PvP and do their thing, and it allows PvEers to PvE and do their thing, and you don't force either one of them to do the other thing, right? That's just like pet battlers. If you add pet battling in Classic Plus, you'll have players who come in and that's what they do. That's their thing. gold farming for the longest time before Blizzard ruined gold farming in literally every version of the game. I spent a lot of time doing that. I still play the auction house now, but a lot of the really good open world gold farms, group farms are gone. Bots had a lot to do with that. You know, trying to control the bots killed that. Right, but I mean, we're worried about bots because what? They ruin the economy by flooding gold into the game, right? Blizzard does that. Yeah, but you're not going to avoid the shop. You're going to have a shop. I think the compromise has to be what they sell in the shop, right? Like if if people want to pay 20 bucks a piece to collect mounts, go for it. Knock yourself out. I don't care.
Hi.
Yes, they do.
You got my
They drive the price down by flooding the market.
Time is money, friend.
talk to me. Time is money, friend.
What what kind of things could you buy in the shop in Turtle?
Light be with you.
Hello. Have a good one.
Great to meet you.
Like I don't want to see them selling weapons and stuff like that. That's like, yeah, see, I'm okay with that. If they want to do a shop like that in Classic Plus where people can buy, yeah, I'm all right with that. I just don't want pay to win stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like even to the point, even though I don't pet battle, if you can buy some of the best battle pets in the game in the cash shop, I'm not okay with that. Listen, whether they did good things or not, to me is not relevant. What's relevant to me is that you don't steal another company's property and then profit off of it. That's just not cool. Yeah, I think, you know what? I think that's probably one of the things. Again, I didn't play vanilla, so I don't have a lot of opinion on it because I didn't play it to see the imbalance. But from what I've read and watched a lot of videos on, is that there were a lot of specs that just weren't viable in vanilla, and that they need to work on making every uh, class race combination viable and spec viable. And maybe make professions other than engineering means something when it comes to like rating? No. I don't even know what that means, to be honest with you. Look at me forgetting that I had them out. Yeah, you too, man. Thanks for stopping by. And listen, next time I do my dungeon leveling priest in retail, I'm going to feature your add-on, man. Not that it means much from a little creator like me, but I think it's cool. You bet. I appreciate the help with the volume on that add-on. That was killing me. Oh, he has an add-on called Rapid Requeue that helps you requeue back up for dungeons faster, and it has a little thing that pops up when the dungeon ends to allow you to say thank you to everybody really quick before you leave the dungeon, which I really like because I like doing that, but usually people are gone so fast you don't have an opportunity to do it before they're gone. But with that button, you can hit it and say thank you, and then it leaves the dungeon and opens the window back up and allows you to queue right back up again. It's a cool little add-on. Rapid Requeue. Yeah, that's his. That he made that add-on. Yeah, right. I'm always jealous of people who have the skills to do stuff like that. I'm just a dopey old dude playing video games. That's super cool. And do you think that would be added back into A Classic Plus. Oh wait, I have a question along the lines of the Classic Plus discussion. How do you guys feel about the ability to raid 10 man in a Classic Plus environment? Or if not 10 man, a flex raid environment where you could bring, say, 25 man, so anywhere from 15 to 25, just to help guilds out. How do we feel about that? Does that compromise the game? Yeah, see, I only do 10 man, right? Just because as a raid leader, it's just a pain in the butt to manage more than that. They're just I'm a lazy raid leader. I'm a guild leader too, but I have a hard enough time dealing with. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be, I'm hoping, a main focus, Cricket. Right, Zerking, I'm with you. Okay, how about a looking for group tool that helps you assemble a group, but you still got to walk to the dungeon? Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about like places like Hyjal that were left blank early on. Yeah, I'm okay. But you mean the instant grouping as far as, yeah, I agree with that. That drives me crazy. So we want to leave it to where you either got to build your group with guild or do it through chat. I'm okay with that either way. Well, as a healer, man, I'm telling you, look, I'm getting my quest and I'm looting my loot. If the tank wants to run so fast that I can't do those two things, he's probably going to die. I don't mind moving along at a moderate pace, but again, I want to be able to loot my loot and do my quests. Okay, that's fair. Well, I don't think that there was even summoning stones in original vanilla, was there? Or they were there, they weren't active. Yeah, they were always there. I don't know when they activated them, but maybe that's a. Yeah, sorry, Michael. That's what I'm doing. I think we're kind of more about the conversation than. I do all kinds of stuff in the game, but this is just what I happen to be doing this morning. Yeah, I'm having a hard time myself with like I'm in MoP Classic right now. I personally do not think that Warlords of Draenor Classic is going to be a thing. I firmly believe that if they're going to do a Classic Plus and they've moved a lot of their Classic support team over to a design team, that along with the announcement of Classic Plus, maybe the announcement that they're ending a lot of these other Classic servers to focus on that. But I play a little bit of everything because I like the game. I play some hardcore. I do have a max level prop warrior on TBC anniversary. I play a little retail. I'm not a huge retail fan, but I'm not a hater either. I'm honestly a pretty big fan of Blizzard products. I'm not one of those haters by any means at all. Well, I got a lot of crap in my bags, don't I? Right. That's why I just think at some point I see a consolidation of all of that, right? Like they need to focus. Obviously, retail's not going anywhere. It's the biggest part of their player base, hands down. It's not even a competition. But I think they need to figure out a way to consolidate the classic player base rather than having a bunch of these small fragmented servers. Yeah, MoP Classic, man. I'm actually disappointed in MoP Classic because uh, PvP in original MoP was really good, and there is no PvP going on at all. Like this was the beginning of rated battlegrounds. I love doing rated battlegrounds in original MoP, and there's not a rated battleground happening anywhere. Well, we've been past Wrath in Classic. So Classic launched in 2019 as Vanilla WoW, and we've been through TBC, Wrath, Kata, and now into MoP. Anniversary Classic launched on the anniversary year of the game, and they're now in TBC. People are thinking it's going to go to Wrath. I have, uh, yeah, there was a Wrath Classic. That's when I came back to Classic, is Wrath. Yeah, that's what they've been doing with these. With uh, some changes to the game, like you can buy a WoW token in this version of the game, and there is no raid finder raid. They've done the dungeons a little differently. They have what they call celestial dungeons, and that's where you can get the gear. It's a different version of heroic. That's where you can get the gear that you would have gotten back in the day in raid finder. Yeah, follower dungeons. They're painfully slow. And you don't get the same loot either. Good way to learn the dungeons though, if that's what you want to do. Because there's definitely expectations in retail and dungeons. You want to talk about a toxic player base. Oof. Yeah, I'm alright with that. So we want to go back to being able or having to like use our crowd control in dungeons, and tanks need to be careful how they pull, not just round them up and kill them, right? That's what we're talking about in a Classic Plus. Yeah, I don't have any complaints about retail. It's a different game. I tell people when I play retail, I feel like I'm playing a completely different game with a familiar feel, if that makes sense. So follower dungeons it is perfect for them, right? Right. Yeah, but if they were in a guild with people that they were comfortable with, then that would probably change it, right? And that's what did it for all of us. We had the guilds and the friends that we ran with that made it easy. Plus, well, plus the fact you had no choice. Even if you didn't have a guild that ran, if you wanted to run, you had to get out into chat and find people, or just do nothing, or PvP. These stupid little things. Right, there you go. I always tell the people that I raid with if they would go over to retail and play retail, I would raid, but that's the only way I'd do it. I may jump in looking for raid. I've got one max level character over there. I may jump into looking for raid just to experience the midnight dungeons, see what they look and feel like. You know what I find with retail? That there is so many things to do in retail that I end up doing nothing. If that makes any sense at all. No, I'm on Pagel. Yeah, it's just a lot. I agree. Go for it. I love the graphics of retail. I'm hoping Classic Plus has the same graphics engine. Um, I love the speed of leveling is a bit too fast for me, but you know what? It's still fun. I hate the work order system for professions. I absolutely hate it.
Farewell.
I also hate that professions really don't mean anything anymore, really, for the most part. I like the stat enhancement that we get from doing different professions and figuring out which ones you want to do, even though they're all pretty equal, but right.
Hello. Good day to you.
I only do professions from a rating standpoint. Well, that's not true. Um, I'm a jewel crafter on my paladin, and that is my
You need something?
way to make gold. I love prospecting and selling gems.
Well met.
Pumpkin pie spice creamer is like, I know people have really strong opinions about pumpkin pie spice. I love pumpkin pie spice creamer. And I love that I can get it in the summertime. Actually, I'm going to Stormwind. I got to get rid of some of this crap.
See you later.
Right. Yeah, I don't do them. I do mining on my paladin in retail, but I don't really do it. I have it, I should say. And they've done away with like getting random cool BOE drops. Like that's not a thing anymore. They killed pretty much all the cool gold farms in the game. That's not a thing anymore. Go to any of the YouTube streamers that do gold farming. They're struggling for content because there's just not any real cool gold farms anymore. I have a buddy of mine that says that retail WoW is all about mythic dungeons, mounts, and transmogs, and that's it. They don't really remove them. They just, I give you an example here in MoP Classic, right? Back in original MoP, you could farm um, Sunwell Plateau trash, like up to the first boss, and you could get some really cool, like profession recipes, rare profession recipes that were highly sought after for transmog. And you could just make really good gold doing that. Same with Karazhan, the trash down in the very beginning, you could do that. And they've just nerfed all that down so much, it's not even worth doing anymore. And in retail, there's a lot of people that like to do like group gold farms. As soon as Blizzard finds out that they've got like an area that's like hyperspawn, and groups are farming it for gold or for cloth or leather or whatever, right? Mounts. Blizzard will shut that hyperspawn down and kill the farm. I get why they're doing it. They're trying to combat the bots, um, but they're alienating a whole segment of their player base at the same time. I just feel like there's got to be a fine compromise that they can come up with. Like, are bots really that hard to identify and ban? I don't think they are. Like it was crazy when War Within dropped. I was in a group that's what we did. We identified really cool hyperspawn locations that we could gold farm, right, for different things. Right, right. Well, and the other thing that killed like transmog sales was making transmogs account bound. So like once you collected an appearance, you had it on your entire account, so people didn't have to buy as many transmog appearances as they did originally. So it kind of killed the market for that too. Yes, yes. In general, the whole feeling more powerful is what's convoluted the gameplay. Like again, the whole going from being these struggling would-be heroes in classic, right? Like every pull was like near death if you didn't do it right. And you had to work really hard for every level, right? To wow, why did my nightbot didn't like that? I don't know what that is. I just started using the nightbot. I think I need to adjust it. But from going from that struggle to like now in all heirlooms, just mowing stuff down, blah 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 blah, right? Is it kind of took a lot of the luster out of the game. Like Michael said, watching somebody level in all heirlooms is boring to him, which is fine. I get that. I'm more here because I'm going to play the game anyway, and I like the conversation, right? I like the social aspect that we're talking about that's missing from the game. I get here. I like it. Right, exactly. Whereas now it's just the tank runs ahead in front of everybody, rounds everything up, DPS mows it down behind him, and as a healer, quite honestly, I'm just walking in the background just in case. It's literally that's modern WoW. Or as a healer, I'm just adding whatever little DPS I can add to the group. Yeah, yep, absolutely.
What can I do for you?
I don't think your healer should have time to DPS. Legion was a really good expansion. Legion was a nice comeback from Warlords of Draenor, which just drug out. Not that Draenor was horrible. Garrisons was their
All right.
horrible attempt at housing, right? Um, and the leveling and the zones were cool in Warlords, they just drug that expansion out for way too long. Did I sell everything? I did. Alright. Legion had a very TBC feel, right? Like I think they tried to fool players into thinking they were back in Burning Crusade. Yeah, garrisons were weak. Again, garrisons further segmented the game population, right? Everybody was in their own little garrison doing their thing rather than being in town socializing
Need help?
or out in the world.
Go with honor, friend.
Yeah, I agree with that, Brush. Um, Honestly, I think that MoP's talent system is weak. Like, I don't think it's enough. Where retail is crazy, like retail's like insanity on the other end. Like the amount of talent choices in retail is beyond anything that I ever really want. Um, I think that MoP is oversimplified, like way oversimplified. Hey Karen, how are you? Yeah, Siege of Orgrimmar is not a bad raid. I'm enjoying it. I didn't do it the first time around, so yeah. You think the talents are horrible in MoP? Yeah, I was just trying to be kind to Blizzard. They're not that great. It's way over. It was their attempt at simplifying, and they just went way too far. I'll be right back, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. You know what? The MoP questing is really good. Um, the way they redid all the zones and gave us a really good flow from the start of your character from level 1 all the way out through the MoP zones. The zones flow really, really well compared to early on where you have to jump around like from like the walking pane in classic, and you'd have to walk a long way to get to the next zone. For what? For TBC? I think there's a separate isn't there a separate EU? I think there's separate EU server for TBC, but for North America, we have one TBC anniversary server, Dreamsite, and it is a very busy server. Yeah, I don't like the talents. Like I said, they're boring. Very boring. Is it all locked? What do you mean everything's locked? All right, guys. Well, I've got 20 plus minutes before maintenance shut down. I got some things I have to get done, so I'm going to call it for the day. This will be my new time slot. I'm going to be on roughly 7:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. East Coast time in the U.S. So I don't, whatever that works out to be for you guys. I really appreciate you guys hanging out, and I really appreciate the conversation. Hope you guys all have a great day. Cricket, thanks for coming back in again. Good seeing you. It may not be. It may be the same server. I'm not sure. I'll look too. Let's see. I don't know if we see EU servers. Hold on. Let me just Yeah, there's a PvP server and a normal server for the US, and there's a PvP and a normal server for the EU. They're different. Thanks, Zerking. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you stopping and hanging out and chatting. I had a really good time. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Horde. Bah. Have a good one, guys. Peace.